What's going on, beautiful people? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all come on in here and hit the like button as you come on in. We got something I've been wanting to discuss for the past 2 days. I didn't make a video. I didn't do a live stream about it because I wanted to wait until the weekend so that I could really get my thoughts across and so that I can have a certain audience, a decent audience. Um, for this show, right? Normally, y'all know I work throughout the week. I'm off work today. And so if I would have done this live stream throughout the work week, I would have felt rushed. I would have felt like I had to hurry up and get off the live stream or whatever to get ready for work. And so tonight I got enough time to really articulate what I want to say about this topic. This topic involves a Chicagoan like myself, a Southside Chicagoan, right? So this really hurts me to have to really go here about Common, right? It hurts me, but I got to do it because my Southside Chicago and Lonnie Lynn is in violation for what he just said. He's an absolute violation, and we got to call a spade a spade. Charlie X, what's the word, my boy? Y'all hit the like button as y'all come on in. So, for those who aren't aware of what I'm talking about, Common sat down and he did an interview. And in the interview, he's talking about a lot of different things, but then the conversation shifts towards him talking about, I guess people being, I don't know, like, I don't know how the hell, I'm trying to remember how George Bush got involved, but he said in so many words, I'm going to paraphrase, that he now views George W. Bush, former president of the United States, he views George W. Bush differently now. He sees him in a different lens a little bit because of how George Bush treats Michelle Obama. So if you all didn't know, y'all know the Obama Center opened this summer, right? And so the day it opened, a lot of people came, flew in out of town, a lot of prestigious people with big names. Common was one of the individuals there. He's one of the individuals there, and he said he saw George Bush there, and he observed George Bush with Michelle Obama and all of that. And Michelle Obama and George Bush's friendship has been on display for many to see. You always see him smiling and giddy when he's around Michelle Obama. George Bush wants, he's always around. The cameras always find them. He's always passing her a piece of candy and so on and so forth. And people always like, and I've seen black people say this too. Oh, he loved him some Michelle. He loved him some Michelle. Oh, Michelle. That's what he want he want to take Michelle from Obama. He loved him some Michelle. Michelle, his favorite. People always say this shit, right? And I kept saying to myself, I hope this is not his attempt to rebrand. Because I'm not letting him pull the O.J. Simpson. If you know what I'm talking about, O.J. Simpson, he had a great rebrand after saying he not black, he OJ. When OJ got out of jail and he went over there with Cameron and Mace, people who are beloved in the hip hop community, a lot of black folks started to embrace OJ Simpson, started to open their arms to OJ and just call him Unc and everything. Yeah, right. People started to love on OJ Simpson. Black folks, after they swore to not give a damn about OJ anymore because OJ stood next to the right black folks to get him this type of cachet amongst people, right? Amongst our people. Same can be said here. George W. Bush, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are beloved within the black community for the most part. There's a lot of people who don't like Obama, who despise the Obamas and all of that. It's a lot of black folks that do, but for the most part, a lot of black folks love Michelle and Barack Obama. And George W. Bush being next to the Obamas in a positive light and having positive interactions with the Obama family, that is a way for him to rebrand. I'm not going to let it happen at all. I don't give a damn how many pieces of candy he passes to Michelle. I don't care how much he smiles when he sees Michelle Obama, how much he's so giddy to take pictures with her. I don't give a damn about none of that because I remember when Hurricane Katrina occurred, how his response, he had a negligent response to Hurricane Katrina all across the board. That is one of the biggest American tragedies we've ever seen happen. And they don't treat Hurricane Katrina the same way they treat 9/11, September 11. And I know we know that's a terrorist attack versus a natural disaster, right? But they don't really talk about Hurricane Katrina like that. Black folks talk about Hurricane Katrina, right? There's a lot of black folks they lost their lives. Nearly 1,400 black people died during Hurricane Katrina. And George Bush, again, I remember he was on vacation. He came off vacation like 2 days after the hurricane happened, right? They started talking about he didn't really know that the levees was going to break. He didn't anticipate that. When there are transcripts of him, like people saying, hey, he was aware that the levees could possibly break, right? And when you see all them black folks in the water dying, and the way he didn't respond appropriately to that, that's crazy, right? So for my boy Southside Lonnie Lynn, aka Common, to say he view him differently, he view him a little differently now after Common used to be very critical of George W. Bush. You view him differently now because of how he treats Michelle Obama. Let me tell y'all something, y'all. I don't care how well you treat a powerful black person. That does not mean you off the hook for your negligence towards thousands of other black people, right? That don't take you off the hook because you find one powerful black person that you like and you treat with respect and all of that does not take you off the hook for all the other stuff that happened during your presidency. It does not. Not to mention the million Iraqis dead. We're gonna go there, the invasion of Iraq, because they had weapons of mass destruction. If you're gonna go there, right? So yeah, man, I'm not doing that. You feel me? I'm not doing that. And this is the thing, man. I can't forget the image of black people in the water, dying in water where there are other bodies, like deceased bodies and feces in the water, people trying to get help. People standing on top of their roofs of their house. The roof is damn near covered in water, screaming and yelling for help. Like and America just dragging their feet with it. No, I can't do that, man. I can't like bro. He said, bro, you should see the footage of civilians that were killed in Iraq. Lucky for them, social media didn't exist. Yeah, man. When you hear about all of that, man, it's I can't just be like, oh man, I view you differently. Hey, okay, cool. He's nice to Michelle Obama and the Obama family. He comes to support them. That's cool. But see, this is what's happened now. Um, but can see where Buddy coming from. Ah, I mean, this is what happens now. I think, right? And me, you say it's a nuanced conversation. We're so we're so in the far right. Like America is so is led by somebody that is so far right. The state of America is so far right, like in a crazy way that now because we got somebody like Donald Trump in office as well, now you people can look at George Bush favorably. You know, he can. He seems very likable because he's not in his outward presentation, nor the people that support him. It's not the same crowd that Donald Trump has. He didn't speak in extremes the way Donald Trump speaks. Donald Trump again, has a crowd full of anti-black racists. You know what I'm saying? And of course, there were racists that supported George W. Bush without a doubt, without question. But right now, America is so far right, like it's just it's we're in crazy times. So now we're able to look at George Bush, not weird, but many are looking at George Bush like, man, was he that bad compared to what Donald Trump got going on? And again, I just think about the lack of urgency that was shown to the people in Katrina, man, during Katrina. Bro, like, and again, the million Iraqis dead and all of that. But I just remember when Hurricane Katrina first occurred, when it first happened, I think I was like in sixth grade when Katrina happened. And I really didn't understand. I tell you this all the time. I didn't understand what type of travesty occurred until a couple of years later when I was in high school at Morgan Park High School on the south side of Chicago, and we watched that documentary When the Levees Broke. And I'm watching how catastrophic the hurricane was. Like, like when you're a kid, you really not watching the news like that. At least I wasn't. Hurricane Katrina happened, I was like sixth grade. I wasn't plugged into the news. I wasn't sitting down watching the news like that with my grandmother and my father and my uncles and aunts and mom and all of that. I was in my own little world because it wasn't happening in Chicago. By the time I became like a sophomore in high school, I'm 15 years old. I watched that, bro. I damn near cried in class because I'm seeing like how devastating that was for people. And then when I got older and I meet friends from New Orleans, right, that relocated to Mississippi because they lost everything. When I'm hearing people they lost family members in a hurricane, people that lost their grandparents, all like man, bro, it was wild, bro. Like it was it 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 was it was crazy times. So no folks came to ATL. A whole bunch of people came in Atlanta. People came to Atlanta. People came to Houston. People came a lot of different places. Mississippi. My best friend, one of my best friends, his wife relocated to Mississippi when a hurricane hit. Right. Some people came to Houston. Some people came to Atlanta. All of that. When I'm seeing the footage of black folks on roofs of their house, and the roof of their house is damn near covered in water. That was some shit I couldn't even understand. Like, bro, in Chicago, bro, we got tall houses, tall apartment complexes, and all of that. I couldn't imagine standing on the roof of the apartment complex I'm in with water surrounded. I'm up here on top of the damn house, on top of the apartment building with my kids, screaming and waving for help, right? And while you getting help and getting in a boat to go somewhere else, you seeing deceased bodies, deceased kids in the water, deceased elderly, children, people you might know, deceased in the water. That is, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and the Bush administration for a while, they was treating it like it was just, hey, just another hurricane in New Orleans. Until it was just like, yo, what are y'all doing? Where are y'all at? This is a Category 5 hurricane. So I'm sorry. Like again, Common Common didn't say like he just views George Bush as this amazing person now, or this great person, or none of that, or he loved George Bush. He said, I view him a little differently a little bit now, seeing how him and Michelle Obama interact and how he treats Michelle Obama and all that. But I'm gonna just tell, bro, that's not enough for me to view how he handled things differently. Even Kanye West, y'all know I can't stand Kanye nowadays. Kanye at that time say, man, look, like George Bush doesn't care about black people. George Bush doesn't care about black folks, man. Because it was just so like, yo, what is happening? The whole situation was absolutely sad. It was a absolute tragedy, man. James, man, I appreciate the donation. You say, bruh, you said Bush has several failures. 9/11, cleanse ban on assault weapons expired, lied about Iraq, never caught bin Laden, Osama bin Laden, Katrina, oil spill, recession, housing crisis, a ton, man. Yeah. Like it's a lot to be said. Facts, man. Said, man, that BET program was classic. Bro, when Mike Myers was so shocked that Kanye said that, he looked over at him and said, damn. And that's when I was a Kanye fan, when he was still Kanye to the. Mike Myers couldn't believe. Like, he was just like, damn, he really said that. And I remember when it happened, it was everywhere because people were just like, damn, he really went and said what a lot of people were feeling like, you know, said what a lot of people were feeling like. And again, man, like, I can't be just because you treat one powerful black person and some powerful black people good does not mean that your all is just all good in the neighborhood. And I say that because even like some of the most racist people in the world, they treat athletes and celebrities, black athletes and black celebrities, very well because they don't look at them as regular black folks. They look at them as something other than some type of outlier, some type of like anomaly. They don't look at them as like the common black folks. Treat regular everyday black folks and you'll have your concern and your sense of urgency for them be big. And then I can say something, right? But just because you kick it with Dennis Rodman and you like, you like being around black basketball players and all of that, that don't mean that you love black people. Hulk Hogan was always around, Mr. T, Dennis Rodman. He always wanted to be around the black athletes and entertainers and black actors. He loved being around them, black singers and shit like that. But privately, he felt how he did not like black. He didn't care for black folks at all. At all. He didn't like them. He didn't like us. He didn't like black people. He didn't like us at all. He would tolerate us if we were in a high powered position, if we were people of importance in his view. So yeah, he could listen to black music and all of that, but your black ass ain't good enough to date his daughter. Your black ass ain't good enough to be in his family at all. Your black ass ain't good enough to be all, dating his kids. No, 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 no. He not with that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, and honestly, man, unfortunately, this is a Chicago brother that I'm making this video about, but it is what it is. Y'all know I don't discriminate. Anybody can get it. I didn't win at Jigga. I didn't win at Lupe Fiasco. Again, Lupe from my hometown. So it is what it is. But this is why people be like, they don't take celebrity activism that seriously. Because up until George Bush's interactions with Michelle Obama, Common wasn't gonna say too much good about George Bush at all. But now, since he's seen him with Michelle and seeing him and Michelle him giving Michelle a piece of candy, right now he gonna say he viewing them differently. So that's why people don't be taking celebrity activism like seriously because they feel like, all it takes is one good photo op and certain black celebrities are going to change their mind about certain things, right? And also, people in the conscious community be taking hits too because they feel like brothers that present super conscious, a lot of times people feel like it be a gimmick, it's an act, and it's not real, right? But I think Common then got caught up into, oh, he treat a black family I really admire very well, a black family I really respect, a black family that is super esteemed and powerful. He treat them well. So I gotta start being nicer or looking at him in a different light. No, I ain't saying you gotta be rude to the man. I ain't saying you gotta just absolutely hate the man, but I don't think your view should change about certain things that you felt about him just because he smiled in the Obama family face. You know what I'm saying? Just because he shared pieces of candy with Michelle Obama. Nah, bro. I'm not with that. Hold on, I'm looking at y'all comments right here. You said Bush was a war criminal, simple and plain. His image has been softened over time, largely due to comparisons to obvious open racists like Trump. Absolutely, and that's my point. And I said that earlier too, bro. I appreciate you popping in too. Y'all hit the like button for your boy as y'all come on in here. Due to America being so far right now, and having us having a president who was outwardly said racist things, outwardly has supporters who are, I mean, they are racist. His supporters are racist with their chest poked out. There's no hiding it. Ain't no covert racism. A lot of his followers are overt racists, you know, and because we are in times that we like, damn, we ain't seen it like this before. Now George Bush's image has softened, and people are looking at him differently because of how, you know, what we have in office now. But again, I simply cannot forget about Hurricane Katrina. I can't forget about the million Iraqis dead and all of that. I can't. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. I can't. Especially when you got people that you know from, even if I didn't know people from New Orleans, right? But when you know people from New Orleans and you hear how it affected their lives, everything changed for them. You know, like how it was so devastating for them. Nah, bro. And again, when you watch some documentaries about Katrina and you see that, oh, not Obama, the Bush administration was acting like they didn't have information that the levees would possibly break, you know, and he on vacation for a few days until after the hurricane, you know, he at the damn what they call that? What's that dang? What do they call that? When people celebrate Japan surrendering. When people celebrate Japan's VJ Day at a VJ Day commemoration ceremony in California and all of that, and they told me they was looking over the situation. It wasn't a real sense of urgency, man. It wasn't a real sense of urgency for the people of New Orleans. You know, Shim Sham, what's the word, my boy? It wasn't. And so when you see it wasn't a sense of urgency for the people there, and you again, almost 1,400 people died. Almost 1,400 people died in Katrina. And it wasn't no urgency for people who were elderly, people who were had disabilities, all of that. And then when you find out, because I looked into some of the percentages of people who did not have private transportation, meaning they didn't have a vehicle to escape, to evacuate, all of that. Not to mention people getting on Ray Nagin head, because Ray Nagin then was like, they asked Ray Nagin, why are you not using these buses? These buses that they got throughout the city, these school buses to help get people out. And he started talking about insurance liability, all that type of stuff. And they're like, yo, let's get these people out of here. Um, you said the levees didn't break, they were exploded. Now, again, I remember hearing people saying they heard explosions. They heard explosions all throughout the city. They heard that, right? It wasn't at all what they told y'all. The storm wasn't bad. It didn't flood until 2 days later. We heard the explosion, right? And then even then, people was left to die. People was left to die, man. Charlie X said George Bush cared when he thought Katrina was going to hit up Florida. Once it switched course, he ain't give a damn. Absolutely. You know what happened to them Florida votes too? What happened to them Florida votes? You know, but that's neither here nor there. Say Common is the victim of economic slash class proximity. Kanye was broke and his mother was alive when he made that statement on Bush. I don't know if Ye was broke. He wasn't nowhere near up financially like he is now. But at that point, the college dropout was out. Yeah, made big time beats for Jay and Rockefeller artists. And late registration was slated to be out. Or was it out already at that point? Right? So like he wasn't broke, but he wasn't anywhere near what he is now financially. Now his mother was alive as well. And maybe you're right, he probably was more grounded at the time when his mom was around. So yeah. But I do believe Common, like a lot of black celebrities, when they become rich and they have a certain amount of affluence, and when they gain that, they can easily forgive or forget about certain issues that affected the average everyday black person because it's not their reality and they're not as connected to it like that, right? Now again, I'm not saying Common is a nocturnal animal. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I just think he's like completely off base with this whole I'm looking at George Bush differently because of how he treats Michelle Obama. You know, said, brother, we are not afraid of Trump by putting racism exclusively. I don't put exclusively on him, but brother, you cannot sit up here and tell me that his administration is not outwardly racist. You cannot tell me that, right? And Malcolm X spoke against white liberals, right? And he hated white conservatives. And I want to remind y'all that y'all only choose he looked at white liberals and white conservatives as branches on the same tree. However, white conservatives always like to like try to nitpick that Malcolm X quote and say to try to make it seem like he only disliked white liberals. He hated white conservatives as well. And I want to make that very clear. Very clear. White conservatives love to try to quote that Malcolm X quote about the white liberals. He hated their ass too, white conservatives. Very much, very so. Very much so. Right? Now, again, we cannot sit up here and act like um we cannot sit up here and act like um the Trump administration is just like, oh, we ain't just putting it solely on them, man. Like to try to act like they're not his administration is not outwardly racist is ridiculous, brother. When he first during his first presidential campaign, 2016, when the election happened in 2016, I was living in Jonesboro, Arkansas, for grad school at Arkansas State University. And I always tell y'all this: every MAGA sticker I saw out there was accompanied by a Confederate flag. Nearly every MAGA sticker out there was accompanied by a Confederate flag. Now, what the hell is he saying that resonates with these Confederate flag flying motherfuckers so well? What is Donald Trump saying? What is coming from his administration that resonates with these Confederate flag flying folks in Arkansas? Huh? He's saying something that appeals to them in a major way. So, yeah, I'm sorry, brother. Uh-uh. Ain't nobody saying you got to shake in your boots at Donald Trump and be terrified of him. But we gonna call a spade, brother. You know, we gonna call a spade a spade. Common took a neutral approach to Kanye after that slavery was a choice-ish. Rubbed me wrong. And I'm sure he did, right? Now, Common feels indebted to Kanye because Kanye helped to expand his audience and gave him the great that B album is a phenomenal album. That's Kanye's work, right? That's Kanye production and all of that. So it put him in a different Kanye's production, put him in a different stratosphere, and it expanded his audience in a way, right? So Kanye, a lot of his success came from working with Kanye. Now he was always a dope rapper, a dope MC, and had some great work before then, all the way. But him and Kanye are connected, so in more ways than them just being from Chicago. So he was going to try to save Kanye. Anybody that's worked with Kanye before, try to save him and give him all these benefit of the doubt. I don't do that. I take Kanye for exactly what he's saying. I don't think he's operating on this higher plane of thinking than everybody else at all. I never thought that. I thought he was just a musical genius, and that was as far as his genius went. Just musical. Just when it came to music. That's it. That's all. Yeah, Kanye and Dilla. Yes. Kanye and Jay Dilla on that B album. For sure. But Common was always a dope rapper, but again, that production and working with Ye and Dilla, but Ye took him to another level. And he coming through with the knowledge. He said, folks also forget the Katrina response was delayed because the military, including National Guard resources, had been allocated to Iraq and Afghanistan. If we weren't fighting those unnecessary wars, unnecessary, put that in bold and capitalize that. Fighting them unnecessary wars led to a delayed response to what was happening in New Orleans with Katrina, right? It did. And you're absolutely right. And people remember that. People remember those things, man. Right. Charlie A said, them weapons of mass destruction that we never found, the Boondocks has a great, they show a great analogy for the war on Iraq, right? The weapons of mass destruction thing. When it's the episode where Huey and Riley are looking for the Xbox killer, and they get Ed Rummy and no, Jen Rummy and Ed Wunsler. Ed Wunsler is a parody of George W. Bush. He wear the big W on his neck, W, but for Wunsler, but for George W. Bush. And when they go to the mini mart, they get into a shootout with some people from the Middle East, right? And it's a point where he said, it's a point where they make the security guard, Ed Wunsler, the white man is a parody of George W. Bush. They make the white police officer say, hey, these people behind these Arabs behind the counter are holding a gun at us. And the white security guard said, I don't see a gun. And they point the gun at the white police officer and say, whose side are you on, motherfucker? And they say, I see the gun now. That was the play on, oh, they have weapons of mass destruction. When it's clear that they really do not have these weapons at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's that episode is a great episode. And I didn't get on Aaron McGruder's ass for his respectability politics pushing. But that episode is a great depiction um, of the war on Iraq. But yeah, I y'all remember when I got on Aaron McGruder for that comment he made about black people's moral currency being ran up and all of that nonsense. I was like, all right. It was an old clip of him saying that. And I never saw that until like last year sometime. But Shim Sham say I got a hot take about the Boondocks. What's the hot take, my boy? I hope it's this Shim Sham. Your name was Shim Sham or something at first, right? I hope that you So I feel like a part of the Boondock success is because of how white people view it. I feel like the average white just likes Boondocks because they can laugh at N words. Yeah, I mean, I do believe that's a thing where people, white people that view it, just think it's something to laugh at and just think it's just something funny to see black folks saying the N word and see a little kid like Riley cursing and all of that and these outrageous characters, not knowing that um it's what's the word I'm looking, satire, right? And there's a lot of political and social commentary within the show, a ton of it, you know. That's true about the Dave Chappelle show. Say in support of the channel, man. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for that donation, man. That mean a lot to me, bro. You just don't know, man. Me and my family appreciate you, man. Me and my two little ones, man. Thank you a ton. And thank y'all for rocking out with me. I know it's Friday night. Y'all could be anywhere in the world and y'all could be doing whatever y'all want to do, but y'all are here rocking with me right now. And I appreciate y'all for that, man. Man, why does it keep on? Hold on. I got to be very careful on this damn thing. It's so sensitive when I touch it. What is that on, y'all? I'm getting all type of pings, emails, and whatnot, man. Said that is an Aaron Magruder type of thing to say. Social currency. Godspeed say he ain't fooling with that Aaron Magruder type. Yeah, when that man said that we have a certain type of moral currency that we have established over the years, and it's running out now. And if we don't, we like basically saying like, oh, black people's morality is going down the drain, and people aren't because of that, people aren't going to respect black folks because our moral currency is running up. And I said, we're the only group of people who are expected to, where everybody has to, all of our ethnicity have to act in exemplary fashion to be respected, right? Anybody else, people aren't judged. Black people are judged as a whole. Other individuals, mainly white folks, are judged individually, and they don't get judged for the lowest of their society, of their ethnic groups. They don't get judged for the trailer park rednecks that do, or the 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 PDF files that's running all through the community. They don't get judged for that. They still get to operate as their own individuals and all that. On all of that, black folks aren't afforded those same privileges, right? Black people are not afforded the same privileges to be able to operate as our own person, right? We get judged by the masses. And I hate that. We're the only group of people, yeah, exactly, Charlie X. We're the only group of people that are expected to maintain an unrealistic standard of no crime. Yes. In order for black folks to be taken serious, or to be in order for black folks to have respect, we just got to commit no crime. Look at the crime they doing. When white people commit a lot of crimes, right? Asian people commit a lot of crimes. Hispanic people commit a lot of crimes. But look at the black folks. Look at the criminals they are. When we look at certain criminal statistics, and you see the certain crimes that other ethnic groups commit, especially white folks, you've seen some of the most deplorable crimes that you've seen from white folks. And they don't get judged by that as a whole. No. But with black folks, we get judged as a whole. Let one person from my neighborhood in Chicago do something. Look at them black folks in Chicago. They just wild. They just ignorant. They don't know how to act. Where are the fathers and all of that, right? But that shit is not said about the PDF files that's living in the white community, about, the mass, the people that's committing all type of mass shootings in the white community. That's not said about them at all, right? It's just, all one bad apple doesn't spoil the bunch. But with black folks, it's the inverse of that. One bad apple spoils everything. That's crazy, you know. I say F was they think. Nah, look, we can say F what they think, but I hear you. But they got the power in this country, unfortunately. You know, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, man, it's crazy. But yeah, when I saw that from Common, I say, oh no, man. Yeah, this ain't it, brother. This ain't it at all. I can't stand with that. So we can build our own again. That's the problem. We think we need MFs like they are our authority figures. Nah, I don't think I need nobody that's white to do nothing. Um, but the reality is, unfortunately, in this country, there are things that white folks can get away with that black folks cannot. You know, there are certain things, discriminations that we face that are not, that they don't face. So I'm saying, they didn't get in position begging and pleading. They didn't. Well, they've been in position from the beginning. Beginning. He said they got in position by killing and stealing. So what's your point, right? Yeah, that's my point exactly. And so who's saying? I'm not saying they're an authority figure. I'm not saying I look at them for direction on how to live my life. I'm not saying I look at them for approval for anything. Right? That's exactly true. Charlie X pointed it out. We're simply pointing out the inconsistencies in how different communities are judged. He like, that's a crazy straw man argument right there. Yeah, like, I don't, like, what? Well, yeah, man. I just was like, I said, nah, this ain't it, my boy. Yes, sir. Okay, okay. I'm looking at some emails and whatnot. But yeah, I just strongly disagree with that when I seen Common. I said, no, Common. That ain't what we doing right there, brother. That ain't something I'm not co-signing that at all. None whatsoever. And like I said, this a brother that made a song for Asada Shakur. The man make a song for Asada, right? And then you get invited to an event and you see um, George W. Bush treating Michelle Obama with dignity and respect, which is something he's supposed to do. He's supposed to treat her with dignity and respect and treat them with dignity and respect, unless they not returning unless they treating him otherwise. He's supposed to do that. And now it's just like, oh, I look at him differently now. That ain't enough for me. I'm not gonna just look at you differently because you treating some powerful black person with dignity and respect. Because I told y'all, even racist folks, they love some people with dignity. They love some powerful black folks. They admire black folks with, certain type of clout and cachet. Who said anybody make us look bad? I didn't say they make us look bad. I said that's how white folks be looking at it. You don't get me on here. You don't see me on here talking about, oh, the black folks that's killing other black people make me. That's not what my channel was about. They make us look so terrible. That ain't no shit you ever seen me say on here. In fact, I argue the opposite. I say, hold on, why are we judged completely off something that one person do or two people do? This ain't the channel where I'd be like, oh, they black people making us look bad. And I'm born and raised on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. Right? I don't get on the channel saying Chief Keef and Lil Durk, making us look bad as black folks. Not at all. Because I know that ain't true. You're talking about what white people care about. Yeah, I'm pointing out hypocrisies and how they viewed, brother. I'm pointing out hypocrisies and how each community is viewed. I'm allowed to do that. I'm not, oh my God. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisies and how each community is viewed, how black people are viewed compared to other communities. You don't want me to talk about that. You want me to just don't say that. You don't see me on here like, what? I'm talking about the discrepancies and how certain standards for certain communities, right? That's all I'm doing. Yeah, I don't like when black people that is a thing too. It be black people, certain black folks don't want you to talk about none of that. You just supposed to just be like, oh, I'm just pushing forward as a black man. I don't give a damn about anything. No discrepancies matter. I don't give a damn. I'm just pushing forward as a black man. No, man. I'm gonna talk about the other shit that's going on too. Yeah, we can talk about the discrepancies of how certain communities are viewed and so on and so forth. Nobody begging for a seat at the table. I'm just highlighting certain things, right? And like you said, same things Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. highlighted as well. So yeah, Hey, y'all hit the like button for your boy too. Hit the like button while y'all up in here. If you want to donate to the channel, my cash app is below my finger. $ Mac Miller 5. If you want to donate to the channel once again, my cash app is below my finger. $ Mac Miller 5. um, no, Dr. King and Malcolm X were not operatives to integrate us into these people's systems. Martin Luther King Jr. was arguing for access for black folks. So he is a family man. If his family was driving through a town, his wife and his children could use the restroom at this diner, at this coffee shop, instead of having to keep holding their bladder to go way across town somewhere to go use the restroom, right? If You had a doctor, and your child needed to see a doctor. Emergency. They didn't have to go to the black doctor. They can go get seen immediately wherever they were currently, right? If a black family was living in a certain part of town, yeah, you can't think Malcolm X wanted to integrate us. You can't think that. But even after his trip to Mecca, you couldn't think that. But anyway, though, he was arguing for access. If a black family lived in a certain part of town where there was a school, and there was a school that the white kids went to, and that black family didn't have a car to travel way across town to the black school, they could still go to that white school right there and get educated. My man said, I'm not rocking with the Jesse Peterson Judge Joe Brown takes. Do your research before posting that gibberish, folks. What my man Joe Brown, Judge Joe Brown say? I don't think Charlie Kirk. I wouldn't say he's a racist. I would say he's just having a difference of opinion. And back in my day, black folks knew how to play the dozens, and we played the dozens, and we was tough. We was tough, and we was rugged. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I wouldn't call Charlie Kirk a racist. I would just say he having a difference of opinion. And when it comes to a black person like Judge Mathis, then he said, but Judge O'Brown be so nice to all these anti-black white folks. And when he get into it with a black person, he start motherfucker, bitch. He start cussing like it ain't nothing. But with white folks, he handle white folks with kid gloves. Zero, what's the word, man? What's the word, man? What's the deal? What's the deal? Pickle, is everything kosher? What's the deal, my dog? So you got to hit up Anton Daniels to be a panelist. I love to see Anton Butter Biscuit eating Daniels. That brother love him some white folks who got some money. That brother love him some white boy. That brother is one Reese pieces away from being Brandon Tatum. They in the same tree. That brother, boy, love him some racist white folks with some money. Damn. Love that boy. Love that. So you got your LeBron Philly jersey. I ain't got no money, bro. I can't. I didn't pay rent. I didn't got these kids back to school stuff. I ain't got no money for the LeBron jersey right now. They got to come later on. Maybe at the end of the year sometime. I could treat myself around Christmas or something. I can't do it right now. Then I got a family reunion to go to and whatnot. So, oh man, Zero, man, I appreciate that Cash App donation, brother. That's love, big dog. Thank you a ton, Zero. I appreciate you, man. Me and my little ones appreciate you a ton, man. He said he takes in new people, he'll pay you. Anton Daniels, talking Grubbing Media. What's the word, man? What's good with you, man? What's good with you? Hey, listen, y'all. I'm going to do a video about Carmelo Anthony comments about how much money that Jalen Brunson left on the table, right? Anyone owe you money at the family reunion? Nah, nobody owe me no money, man. We just try to go have good vibes and have fun. Got the family reunion coming up and whatnot. So yeah, man. Just trying to eat good, take some nice pictures, dance, you know, celebrate life, celebrate the family too. So been a lot going on. I didn't have to um get little clothes and stuff like that too. So yeah. But no, I got a video coming about Carmelo Anthony comments about um, Jalen Brunson leaving $113 million on the table, and I got my opinions about it. And y'all might be shocked at what I say. Y'all might be shocked at what I say. But I also want to note that Melo made those comments before the Knicks won the championship. He made the comments when that deal was first made, right? Like a lot of people showing the clip is circulating now as if Carmelo just said those comments. And I don't believe he just said that. I believe those comments were made before the Knicks even won the championship and all of that. In hindsight, oh, Jalen Brunson is a made man in New York. He can go wherever he want to go. The earth is his turf, right? But beforehand, yeah, 113 M's left on the table. Yeah. Said Mac, just found out my girlfriend is pregnant. What's your best advice to me on being a father? Man, one, I would say support. Be a supportive father. You know, man, parenting is not easy. It's not an easy job. And it's really not a job built for one person. So you got to be a big assistance to your lady. I would say be attentive, you know, and be active. Be an active dad. Be active as possible. And, teamwork. Teamwork matters. Teamwork matters, man. Be attentive, be active, display teamwork with your woman. And congratulations too, bro. First, I should have said that first. Congratulations. Charlie X just put it in my mind. Congratulations is first. Congratulations are in order to you, brother. That's a beautiful thing. You bringing life into the world with a woman you love. That's important, man. That's dope. That's a special thing, man. And yeah, man. Love first, man. Love your babies. I know you're gonna love your children, though. You'll love your child. So that's not a thing. But yeah, man, I would say parenting is something that you learn. It's a learning process, bro. So don't be too hard on yourself either. When certain things you don't know, you don't understand, you'll eventually get it. You will eventually get it, man. You'll eventually get it. And you'll learn a lot of things along the way. Don't be too hard on yourself. Say curious about folks who have regular family reunions. Do you have them at designated cities, states, or do they vary? Uh so with my father's people, it varies. One year we had it in Vegas, had it in Milwaukee, then we had it in Houston. Well, I didn't go to the one in Houston, but we have it here in Chicago. Go to different locations. My mom's family, a lot of times we'd have had it. Well, we'd had it in Atlanta before. We had a lot of them here though in the city because sometimes it's a cheaper option to do that just because a lot of us are here mainly. A lot of my family in Chicago from my mom's people. We got some in Georgia and other places, but yeah. So yeah, it all depends. It all depends. Like next year they might want to do it somewhere else. This year we going downstate Illinois to have the reunion. We're going downstate for the family reunion. It ain't gonna be in Chicago. So your family usually be having it in Louisiana? Okay. Shout out to Louisiana, man. I ain't been in Louisiana since I was about 11, 12 years old. Charlie X say I'm in Midwest, but all my family reunions be down south. Yeah, a lot of times, a lot of Midwest families be going down south. Cause sometimes, shoot, for the weather purposes and due to the fact that a lot of our family comes from the South. A lot of our family in the Midwest come from the South. My father's family is from the Mississippi Delta. The Mississippi Delta. My mom's family is from Alabama. So yeah, that's how it be working. Y'all hit the like button too, man. Hit the like button as you come on in here. Hit the like button for your boy. And again, if you want to donate to the channel, my Cash App is below my finger. $ Mac Miller 5. Again, if you want to donate to the channel, my Cash App is below my finger. $ Mac Miller 5. So my dad family from Texas, my mom family from Louisiana. Got you. Mm, 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 mm. Texas and Louisiana, my favorite hot sauces. Yeah, Louisiana for sure. I be using the red hots too. I ain't get on their red hots until I got to college. You know, I got to college at Mississippi Valley State University, and they had that like the red hots, the buffalo sauce. Boy, they had that in the cafeteria on chicken Wednesdays and fish Fridays. Changed my life. Changed my life. He said Charlie A said it feels good to visit my ancestors' grave sites down there though. Energy is different all the way. First time I ever went to my great grandparents' grave site in Cleveland, Mississippi, was when I was in college. And my dad and my cousin, my dad, this is my dad first cousin, they came to come see me get crowned when I was Mr. Mississippi Valley State University. And so they ended up taking me to my great grandparents' grave site down there, you know, when we when they came to visit. So that was a special feeling for me all the way because I never like I don't know, it was a spiritual type of thing. Like I end up coming to school at the place that my grandparents in the Mississippi Delta where my grandparents are from, which was like, and it wasn't intentional. God led me there with that academic scholarship I got. Said mom's side from Clarksdale and Black Hawk. Black Hawk. Hey, you know what's funny, man? My son's mother's from Clarksdale, Mississippi. My son's mother's from Clarksdale, Mississippi. Yeah, and I used to see a sign that taught the when I used to go through Greenwood, it was a sign pointing to Black Hawk, Mississippi. Now Mississippi Valley State is in Itabena, right between Greenwood and Indianola. So we used to go to Greenwood to go to like Walmart and go all the stores and all of that. And I used to see a sign that pointed to where Black Hawk, Mississippi, Black Hawk this way. Like, you know? So that's crazy. Ah, y'all talking about that Raising Canaan finale? You know, 50 get on my nerves. But that Raising Canaan, that was a show I was always on, man. And the way he ended the series with Ghetto Quran that was a magnificent way to end the series. Lord forgive me for I've sinned over and over again just to stay on top. I recall memories filled with sin over and over again and again, again. You hear talk of the South Side, you hear talk of the team. The niggas fear Prince and respect. No, it says the niggas fear Prince and respected Preem. For all you slow motherfuckers, I'ma break it down. Ella. See, Preem was the businessman and Prince was the killer. Remember? Hey man, that dang on Ghetto Quran, boy. The way that Raising Canaan, like the way the Raising Canaan went off with that Ghetto Quran in the background, that was genius to put that to end the series with how it ended. You see, Mac off subject. Odin Polynese sounds like a dude that hang out at the hole in the wall bar in the hood with a dude named Cecil. Cecil is definitely a dude he hang with. Cecil, Cecil. That Ghetto Quran that is a really dope song. You never heard Ghetto Quran by 50? That's an old song. Tired of these drug empire movies feel like black exploitation. I mean I understand that premise. I get you. I understand people being tired of that. So true. You know, some people want another Black Cosby Show type vibe. You know, some people want another show um like Girlfriends or trying to think of some other shows people used to like. Yeah. We are living a single. I'm really not even trying to be funny, bro. People want shows like a different world. A different world and like Cosby Show, that's quality television, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's quality television. I'm really not even trying to be funny. Quality television shows. You know how many kids went to HBCUs because they watched A Different World or they watched School Days? And in my case, it's because they watched, I'm 33. So in my case, it's because they watched Drumline or they watched Stomp the Yard where they went to college. Boy, I had the biggest crush on Felicia Rashad, boy. Felicia Rashad is an elegant woman, boy. Elegant, graceful woman who's a radiant woman, for real. Even in old age, man. Old age, still a pretty woman. But young Felicia Rashad, what? I know Ahmad Rashad seen her and said, I need that. I need that. Michael Jordan used to kick it with Ahmad Rashad. He smoking them damn cigars with them Kango hats on. They both was Qs too, Omega Psi Phi. So yeah, man, hell no, I never looked at any of those corny MFs and thought, let me do it. What was corny about the Cosby Show? All right, now you just a contrarian. You hate everything. You don't like the drug shows, but you don't like a positive show like the Cosby Show. That showed a family with two-parent household where where the man was an OBGYN and the wife was an attorney and they lived in affluence and they still was unapologetically black without having to worry about money issues. You don't like nothing. You stink meter. You hate everything. You saw rainbows and flowers, and you said, man, it's some old bullshit here. This some old bullshit. I never said anything you're assuming. Brother, stop talking to me in riddles, brother. Stop trying to talk like Confucius. Say what you mean and mean what you say. You know what they say about those who assume. And I don't know what they say. I don't. I don't know a goddamn thing about what they say. Ah, my boy hate everything. Cosby Show too corny, Different World too corny. But then you say you don't like the drug dealing shows. What show do you like, brother? Yeah, he complained about street theme shows, drug dealing shows. So I brought up wholesome TV, like the Cosby Show, A Different World, and stuff like that. Now you don't like that? What you want to see, bro? I know what they say about people that assume, brother. You think I didn't know that for real? Come on now. I was just one. I just didn't want to respond to that, but I know what they say about people who assume. What do you like? This brother don't like nothing. Brother say I don't like no TV. Don't turn that goddamn TV on. You display. You gonna say that's why y'all lost right now, watching too much damn TV. You brothers need to be in that goddamn book. You need to read the book and study the pineal glands. My brother finna start talking plebiscite babble. He finna go off. He don't like nothing. Like none of these raggedy TV shows. No, don't even watch TV. You need to go read the encyclopedia. That's what you need to do. Read the encyclopedia and sit there all night until you memorize that shit front and back. That is how we elevate in society, brothers. Ah, man. Talking about wheelchair Jimmy. Wheelchair Jimmy. What about action, adventure, suspense, thrillers, authentic horrors like Candyman? That's all I'm saying. Alright, Candyman code. E. Cabrini Green, my people from the Robert Taylor Project, Candyman was scary as hell to me as a kid. Alright, cool. Suspense thrillers, authentic. Did you like did you like Sinners, brother? Did you like that? Did you like Sinners? Didn't Candyman rip that little boy's thing off though? Was that just the in the story? Was that just the legend that they told in the story? Yeah. Or did they show did that happen in the movie? Well, only one of the hands had the hook on the hand. So he had a free hand. Too much African beef. Hey man, what? That nigga say too much African. What part was African? The girl doing the hoodoo and the ancestor flashbacks. Everything else was American, like a black American based. What the hoodoo and what else? What was too much African? What was too much African in there? That was really hoodoo ain't even African. Yeah, like what? I heard African drums and more. So you heard the African drums. You said, turn this shit off. Anybody, bro, bro, you don't like nothing, bro. Too much African up in here. You sound like you sound like Snoop when he was talking when Gay Man tried to put in his music on Soul Plane. That was a straight Mississippi Delta tale. It took place in Clarksdale, matter of fact. It took place in Clarksdale. Man, stop lying. Y'all assuming it's hoodoo. Hey man, you just on here just trolling now. You hate everything. I hate that. All this African brother heard the drums and lost him. Goddamn, turn the goddamn drum off in this mother. Brother heard the drum and said, He heard them drums and said, hey, hey, he say, brother, like homie from Belly. What my boy name? Tyron Turner. I don't like that. I don't like this shit. I said it was straight. He, hey, that man probably like, hey, it's not funny, but it's funny because I'm like, what? He ate everything. Hate Whoopi Goldberg lips. He ate everything. Oh man. I even hated black Wesley Snipes. Too black, too dark for me. Too dark. All that darkness. All that darkness on the screen. I know you hated Black Panther. You said too African up in here. All this African. All the Africans on screen. I ain't. Yeah, that brother went to see Black Panther was pissed. All this African, all these African spears, all this, all these African, all the African gods, all this African, all this African talking, African talking, African mannerism. What is this? Oh, that brother was trying to see him. So all these drums. What is the drums is beating. That brother hate that part. Remember that part of Jumanji when you hear the African drums beating? That brother said, God damn the African shit. African shit all around me. It's time to turn that off. That's Spider-Man 2. Hey, y'all got me on here acting a fool. Hey, Sinners is amazing, brother. Amazing. Yes, it is. I enjoy Sinners a ton. That's a dope movie. Yes, I do think it's fire. You know what I'm saying? What movies? Question is, what movies you think fire? I heard you complaining walking out now. You heard people complaining walking out of what? Sinners? You ain't heard that now the movie overhyped and he says, you were, who you seen walking? How many people you seen walking out of Sinners? He said he liked to know. Said Stevie is that you? Oh, they said about this the boy Stevie Knight of the Ku Klux Klan is in here. I had that brother walk up in there, say, what? I've been drinking some. I'm sure I know you've been drinking something now. You got them yellow eyes like Michael Jordan? You got them yellow eyes? My boy hate Oreos because they too black, too African looking. These African looking cookies. I want the African cookie. I said, well, bring me no damn African cookies. Oreos, too black. Black eyed peas is African food. Don't bring that African food over here. What you think about Two Raw for TV? Yeah, Two Raw for TV is a supreme LeBron hater. He hate LeBron. He said he hate the bird. He hate the chimes on his grandma porch. Too African. too black. Oh, hey man, y'all got me on here clowning. Who said what color was what? Magno, all LeBron hate channels. Man, they be. I'm telling you, they all be falling hand in hand. I was watching Two Raw because Two Raw used to be. I think he taught boxing a lot. Well, he did at one. I think he used to talk boxing. 7-8. Well, shout out to Raw. 7-8 Sports TV, right? And I just think I know is like, hey, LeBron. Let me see what Two Raw. I bet you Two Raw didn't put up 10 LeBron videos in the past week. 12 LeBron videos. That nigga hate that boy. Too Raw for TV. Yeah. It's a YouTuber. Damn, where my remote at? I can't find my remote. Lord, forgive me for I've sinned over and over again just to stay on top. I recall memories. Yeah, we sin over and over again. Again. Hold on, y'all. Said jukebox a while for. I ain't gonna lie. Raisin came in my show, but I said, man, did the white man write this show? This show, all the black families are killing each other all through the show. Damn. I say, man, he said it look like a '90s R&B artist. That's the look I'm going for, Rain. I want to look like them R&B singers from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Did this thing just say was the show black? Say at this point, Yaz might as well kill Tasha. Might better come with an 8-ball jacket next. Yeah, hey, come on now. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now look at the homie Too Raw for TV. Let's look at Too Raw for TV. Too Raw for TV latest video. Too Raw for TV say, what's his latest video? My boy latest video. Let's see. Startling new stat shows LeBron is the all-time. This is what I be talking about right here. This shit right here. What did it say? I gotta I can't even see the whole title because I gotta wait till the thing go out. Let me tell you, first of all, Too Raw. Too Raw, they be hating Broad, boy. Brothers in the LDVC be hating LeBron ass. For real. Startling new stat shows that LeBron is the all-time leader in points scored and losses. LeBron playing a point in Philly would be a total, what do you say, a total disaster? What are you trying to say? Would be a total disaster. Okay. We didn't start the LaFire. Nick Wright says the LeBron say the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, brothers got to stop with this damn. Bro, Negroes love David Stern too much. This ain't David Stern, NBA. This would never happen with David Stern. What Kawhi did would never happen on David Stern's watch. Y'all got to stop with this damn, LeBron is getting the credit for Joel Embiid getting to the best shape of his life. But they be talking about LeBron way more than I do. You know, LeBron, my dude. Nick Wright calls LeBron a true NBA Iron Man. LeBron fanatics forced Tony Allen to bow down. How good. Nick Nurse confirms that 41-year-old LeBron James is the new no defense playing point guard of the 76ers. Boy, I'm telling you, brothers be talking about LeBron way more than I do. And LeBron, my favorite player. So, yeah, where Alfonso Ribeiro blasts LeBron. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, that's exactly right. Meanwhile, a whole referee scandal. Yeah, Tim Donaghy and all of that. Miles getting down. Miles was all type of point shaving, all type of just corruption happening under David Stern. And brothers say they hated David Stern for vetoing that trade when Chris Paul went to the Lakers. But now they just love David Stern. The LeBron, Adam Silver let LeBron do what he want to do. Oh, hate him. Yeah, brother, LeBron generate that revenue though. So they gonna talk about the money, man. That's why it took for Floyd Mayweather to retire for people to talk about other boxers for real. I'm gonna be real with y'all. It took for Floyd Mayweather to retire for people to really start talking about Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? Like Deontay Wilder, all the other black fighters. It took for Floyd to get up out of there because Floyd was the cash cow. David Stern understood how the shield was most important. All this player empowerment ish Adam is on is whack. I don't know though. David Stern how the shield was most important. And in what ways? Because David load management started under David Stern's watch too, though. He was letting Greg Popovich and them pull it off for a minute. So I don't know though. Like, and I don't like yeah, like David Stern. I don't know. Yeah, it's not empowerment, it's entitlement. How entitlement in what sense? Because they want to get paid more, or you saying just don't see people not wanting to play? People want to sit out games. I'm saying like, like there has to be a chain of command in every organization. So you saying players have too much power now? In a sense of what? Like players always had power though. That come from Magic Johnson getting coaches fired and shit like that. Like if you the man, you get to do what you want to do. That you, bro. Michael Jordan said he wanted Phil Jackson gone. Phil Jackson was gonna be gone if he really wanted that, right? If he didn't want somebody in the office, anybody, like when you the man, you get to call the shots. That's how Phil Jackson got what you call it up. I mean, Magic Johnson got what's the name up out of there, right? Like it just NBA has always been a players' league. Players always come first in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you said nope, wrong about what? What I'm wrong about? That if Michael Jordan didn't like a coach, they get it. If he said get him up out of here, that wasn't gonna happen. NBA always been a players' league, bro. For real, always been. MJ hated Jerry Krause because he never did what MJ wanted. Trust me, extra that you've been say Jerry Krause. I'm like, who are you trying to say? Yeah, he hated Jerry for sure. He hated Jerry, but at that point, Jerry Reinsdorf. I will say that yeah, Jerry Krause, Jerry Reinsdorf, Jerry Krause for sure. But I mean, Magic Johnson was clear that it was a players' league all the way around. It's always been a player. Players always ran that league though, except they just didn't. Uh, some of them weren't quick to flex the power like that. Not all of them. You know what I'm saying? So players move the momentum of the league. Recall memories filled with sand. I just be like, people, I don't know, something about people love Champion and David Stern. It just sounds like the plantation was better. Now, again, the NBA is not a plantation. Brothers getting paid millions and millions of mega dollars. But it just sounds like our old master, it just something about that shit just sound like, oh, our old master, we could never get away with this with our old master. Our old master would never allow us to do this shit here. Now I will say this. Now the Chicago Bulls organization was a little different. Now you're right, Jerry Krause, because Jerry Krause told that's why Phil left. He told Michael Jordan, Phil is gone. Now you're right about that. Now the Bulls organization, but if Mike was anywhere else, probably motherfuckers would have did what Michael Jordan say. Jerry Krause was a stubborn motherfucker that didn't he liked to be the head honcho. He liked to be in charge, which ultimately ended the Bulls dynasty. That ended the Bulls dynasty right there. So you're right. Now the Bulls was a little different. You're right, Black Mall. The Bulls was ran very differently. So that's true. I will say that. Now Jerry Krause told what you call it. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. So you're right. The Bulls was ran differently. But if Mike would have been somewhere else, hey, he would have probably had that power. But Jerry Krause was a power freak himself. And Jerry Krause didn't like people. He wanted to show he was in charge at all times, which is why he told Mike, hey, I don't care if we win the championship, whether we win or lose, Phil Jackson is gone. And then Mike told him, well, I'm going to retire because I'm only going to play for Phil. So yeah, that ultimately all that this is the coaches run this shit and players got too much power. That ultimately ended the Bulls dynasty. You know? Nah, so that whole that's another thing too. Like, what y'all talking about? I like players can have the freedom to do what they want to do, man. Like, uh for LeBron to be all popular, as y'all say, you don't think he's very popular, brother? You don't think he's very popular? He's again, I would argue he's been the most popular player in the league. Him and Steph Curry, it's been them too. He's extremely popular, bro. He's very polarizing. Nobody's saying he's more popular than Michael Jordan, but you don't think LeBron is popular? The numbers say he ain't. Bro, the final numbers cool, but do you think those individual players, you don't think LeBron ain't popular, bro? LeBron is popular, brother. He's a polarizing player. Super. Washington Bronze final for sure, because the New York Knickerbockers been a team that's been thirsty for a championship, bro. Thirsty. It's in the city of New York. In the city of New York swallows the city of Cleveland one. But like, yeah, but name a player on the Knicks who's more popular than LeBron James, Black Mall. None of them more popular than LeBron James. Even right now, Jalen Brunson not more popular than LeBron. That Knicks organization is a all-time historic franchise. Franchise, for sure. But ain't no player on the New York Knicks more popular than LeBron James at all. And it's not even close. Victor Wembanyama not more popular than LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you feel me? So, come on. But that's my point, though. Certain franchises going to be like, ain't nobody on the Knicks. Ain't nobody on the Knicks more popular than LeBron James. You know, they wouldn't put him on TV that much if he wasn't that popular. NBA all about revenue and money. So if he wasn't that popular, they'd keep his ass off TV. He's very popular, bro. He ain't more popular than Michael Jordan, but he's very popular. Well, yeah, I think because Jerry Krause wouldn't let Michael Jordan flex like that. He was, one of them old white dudes that been told they was nobody their whole life, and he was a power freak. But yeah, and you're right. It all depends on the organization. And y'all are right. It depends on organizations. That's very true. Because Pat Riley wouldn't let LeBron do what he wanted to do either. He wasn't. So that's true. It's all depending on the organization. You're right. But to your point, Black Mall, to what you call it point, Black Mall, LeBron couldn't get people traded in Miami like that. He couldn't do that in Miami. So it's all organization based, right? What organizations allow what? Magic Johnson could do that. Magic Johnson can do it. In the David Stern era, Magic Johnson can do what he wanted to do with the Lakers organization. That was Chicago. They wasn't. It was a little different. The Bulls weren't having that. Miami Heat. LeBron James couldn't do what he wanted to do in Miami. He left where he played the best basketball. Why? Because Dwayne Wade was starting. I think he realized Dwayne Wade body was starting to break down, and he saw a better opportunity to keep winning in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? That's why he left. I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Now they say he left because he took them damn cookies from him. Because Pat Riley took his cookies and threw it in the garbage. And if I'm LeBron, don't touch my motherfucking food. I don't care what nobody talking about. Especially if I'm in shape 24/7, don't touch my food, bro. Do not touch my food. But yeah, I think LeBron left because he saw a better opportunity to keep winning in Cleveland with a Kyrie Irving and them having the number one pick. You know what I'm saying? He saw Dwayne Wade body starting to break down a little bit. It wasn't just that Pat wasn't giving Gloria a parking pass either. Mm, I mean, I'm not saying Magic did multiple coaches, but I mean, the truth of the matter is Magic led the charge and the coach getting fired. So like, my point is that player it's always really been a players' league, and coaches always understood that if it comes down to the player and the coach, for the most part, depending on the player, was going to be them for the most part, right? Like, why is my phone steady tweaking? Hold on, yo. I am finna drop the link in a minute. Hold on. Now, coaches were popular, but what I'm saying is that if Karl Malone said, now Chuck Daly none was popular, but at the end of the day, and ran their team. So at the end of the they were very popular. But at the end of the day, you saying if Karl Malone say, hey man, I'm not gonna coach, I don't wanna play for I don't wanna play for Jerry Sloan. Jerry Sloan was legendary. He made his bones in the NBA at that point. But you saying if Karl Malone say I don't want to play for Jerry Sloan, that Karl was gonna be the first one to go, essentially. Well, because the Chicago Bulls is operated a little differently, bro. Who gets let go? Phil Jackson got let go, and they won the championship, bro. And Jerry Krause had a different stronghold too. I don't think every organization is ran the same way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I don't think that's good though. That GMs can go on a power trip either and say, so like when people be like, um, shit, tweet, hold on. Um, say, can you at your job go above and go straight to the gym? Because in my, I mean, sports are ran differently than corporate jobs, brother. Same way Allen Iverson, Bubba Chuck can come in there with jewelry on, tattooed up, do rags, and all of that until David Stern said, "I don't like that image." You know what I'm saying? Brothers can come to work and all type of stuff and all type of apparel that I can't go to work in. See what I'm saying? Um, so like it's a lot. Sports is different than corporate America though. Like this is a lot of stuff they could do. I give people saying there's a lot of stuff they can get to do. Right? Same way players can't NBA like what you call it players they can hold out. Athletes can hold out when they want a new contract. If we say we holding out from work, our ass is getting cut and fired, brother. We getting fired, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they can hold out and say I ain't coming to training camp. Let us say we ain't reporting to work because we want to raise. We getting cut, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well, the league has their players moving the way the NBA players move. Like, I guess what? The NBA, the NFL don't do that. NFL players get done dirty. Black Mall, they NFL players be getting they be getting done dirty in that motherfucker. They still don't be getting guaranteed paper. So I don't think the NFL moves in a model way either. I don't watch NHL and I really MLB. I really don't watch baseball like that either. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I really don't. And I don't think they move in a model. I don't know NFL. I don't know NHL dynamics. You know what I'm saying? Say MLB does, but people don't talk about it because it ain't majority black players. So again, I'm not really informed about MLB. You said baseball does move like that. Yeah, I'm not familiar with baseball. I don't really watch baseball for real. But NFL doesn't. And look, they be getting done dirty. That's why I say NFL not a model. It's not a again, they have a great product as far as like playing wise, but how the players get treated, I don't think there's a model way for them to move either. Truthfully. You know what I'm saying? I just think people don't like the NBA right now because players, again, they never been this confident in expressing power like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who of us say they're Molly, they are ran better than the NBA? Nah, I disagree with that. Like, as far as like how players get treated for real, I don't think no guarantee without them guarantee not having no guaranteed contract, that shit not cool to me. I'm just nah. I don't like that. And I don't like the fact that they got incentives that in the NFL, motherfucker will sit you down so you don't hit incentives. The coaches control how much money you make. Bill Belichick get to do that shit. In the NFL, that in the NBA, if that happens, people asking questions because you really can't really do that with a 14, 15 man roster like that. Bill Belichick can sit your ass down just so you don't get paid, right? Just so you don't get hit incentives. And Asante Samuel, son will tell you that, right? In fantasy draft, you know what I'm saying? You don't give a fuck about the players. They make way more than me and you put together. Brother, you can't tell me how I don't give a fuck about nothing. You don't care about something else, not NFL players. Trust me. No, no. I I can listen, I can still feel empathy for brothers, even though, like, especially the fact that their careers don't even last that long for the most part. Right? You don't care about it, but like I can still be empathetic about that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, see, y'all be trying to. That's some hoe shit to me. Like that Bill Belichick get to do that. You telling me that's cool? You know what I'm saying? And Black Mall, you still watching basketball, even though you don't care about the NBA. You still watching. Ain't that right? You still watching basketball, even though you hate how it's ran. You still be watching them games because you be talking about Wemby and what you calling them, right? You still watching them games though. So how you gonna say that, Black Mall? You still watching them finals just like we was. And you hate how the player empowerment. You hate all that. You still watching them games though, right? Brother, you just said you don't like how the NBA is ran and all of that. You don't like how it's operated, right? And you still watching. So you said I should care about how they get done dirty, and I'm still watching. I said, and they be getting done dirty, right? And you say I'm still watching though. I don't care, right? And I say you don't like how the NBA is doing all this player empowerment, and you still watching them games, right? Ain't no, bro. I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm using your argument against you. You just said that I don't care about all that because I'm still watching the games. You don't care. You don't care about them boys in the NBA. That don't bother you like that because you still watching that shit, right? You still watching that, right? So, and again, so to act like it's ran again, a product is fun to watch. NFL football fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to watch for sure. But like the way they operate that shit is not cool though. Right? That ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? So we again, the NFL. That my point is that the NBA is not the only is not the only league where things are not happening. And I think like people make it seem like the NBA the only one that just got all these problems. Every other league got problems too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they are better. Again, it's a fun product to watch for sure. But it's fun for the fans to watch for sure. That's without question, right? You feel me? It's without question. NFL has always been more popular than basketball. Always been too. That's just what it always been. It's always been a football country. It's always been more popular, and it will always be that. You know what I'm saying? People like hard hitting contact, that action. People like that. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So yeah. So yeah, I mean it's fun, but when they get the NBA is the only league where they players can do shit like not play where they want to. I mean, again, on the lowest of key, Tim Duncan and them was doing that shit too. Greg Popovich was doing that too. But now David, what's the boy? Adam Silver has implemented like you don't make first team. You don't make like them all you don't get them awards and accolades if you don't play a certain amount of games. And if I'm not mistaken, do any of the NBA players get bonuses for being on like for them awards and stuff like that? Do they get bonus? They get bonuses and contracts and stuff like that for making first team, all defense, first team, first team, all of that. Yeah, the 65 game rule was implemented to cut that off to stop that, right? So yeah, you gotta play at least 65 games. So you can't even really do that like that no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I named that because you said David Stern was better, right? And Greg Popovich, NBA player lower management started under David Stern. Is my point. A lot of y'all say David Stern was much better, and that started under David Stern's watches. That was my point of bringing up Tim Duncan and them, was that it happened under David Stern's watch when that stuff happened. You know what I'm saying? That was my point of bringing it up. Truth. That point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, now granted, it's more people that have done it now. It's more players that do it now. They be like, oh, I'm hurt, I ain't playing, whatever, whatever, whatever. Right? But again, Adam Silver has now implemented a rule to prevent that. You know? Nah. I mean, I can name LeBron bringing guarding Tony Parker very well. I can name LeBron guarding Paul George very well, to the point Paul George had like 9 points in the game 7 of not the finals. I'm sorry. Was it the conference finals against the Miami Heat? Paul had like 9 points and fouled out. Right. So yeah, I can name other players too. Right. Where I can name other moments where LeBron has played very good defense, great defense from the time he was 24 to 29 years old, right? Now that was a big point. The one I bring up is very important because I remember that Derek was a player that can go get around just about anybody at that point in his career. You really get around anybody. He's just that explosive. So yeah, you know. So he was just that explosive. Said name 5 players Ron locked up. Locked up is strong, but he played very good. I mean, he made first team all defense for a reason, though. He played very good defense, right? On the contrary, so you would say Kawhi Leonard locked up LeBron, correct? You would say LeBron, Kawhi Leonard locked up LeBron. You said exactly you can't. Um, you would say Kawhi Leonard locked up LeBron. You would say that though, Black Mall, right? You would say that Kawhi locked up LeBron. You say that, right? Nah, he didn't hold LeBron under his shooting. Well, LeBron shot like 57% from the field that finals and shot 51% from three. Now I could be wrong. Let me look up. 2014 NBA Finals. I believe LeBron James shot. Let me see. James 2014 NBA Finals NBA Finals stats. Let's look it up. LeBron James shot 57% from the field and 51.9% from three-point range in the 2014 NBA Finals, where the Heat lost 4-1 to San Antonio. Black Mom, look at this. I'm not thinking about. You see that? I don't know if y'all can read that, Black Mom. No, he did that in 2014, brother. Go look it up. I'm not lying. 2014 NBA Finals, LeBron James averaged 28.2 points a game, 7.8 rebounds a game, 4 assists, and 2 steals per game. He shot 57% from the field and 51.9% from three. He played well in that finals. Well. And that's the one everybody say Kawhi locked him up in. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Because I could have sworn, I'm like, damn, I think he shot 50% from three. He shot 51% from three, 57% from the field. That's the one everybody say Kawhi locked him up. Now Iggy, in that final, he shot like 39% from the field against Golden State. You know what I'm saying? Right now, again, he played him well. And Kawhi played him well during points of the fourth quarter. He played him well for sure. But Mo would say he locked him up the whole way, or he just didn't have. He had a bad. What's the name? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Now against what you call it, he shot terrible against Golden State for sure. Right. But at first, Black Mall, you said overall. Now again, Kawhi played very good defense on LeBron. But at first you said overall he shot. Overall he shot. Now he shot 40%, 41%, 41.2% in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? You know? But yeah. So when you see how close those games were, except like two, that's why they lost. Let me see something. My phone about to die too. Hold on. Uh damn. Shit. Dwayne Wade averaged 15 a game and shot 43% from the field. That finals. Let me see. What Chris Bosh? Chris Bosh, 2014 NBA Finals. Chris Bosh averaged 14 a game and shot 54%. Okay. Can y'all hear me still? Because I got this AC on. It's kind of loud and my mic just went out for a second. But yeah, Kawhi played very good defense on Braun for sure. But Braun still had a very good finals. Now, in the fourth quarter, he shot 41%, which is not good. It's not, especially by his standards, it's not good at all. LeBron, 41% for him, not good. If that's Allen Iverson, cool. AI smaller guy, got to go amongst the trees and score. That's cool for him. But for LeBron James, 41% is not something that he shoot. That's not a, you know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, now I see his shooting percentage right here: 7 for 17 overall, 1 for 6 from three across the 5 games in the fourth quarter. Yep. If he goes 9 for 17, they win at least. Yeah, Kawhi played very good defense. But I locked up is like, yeah, he got to play, but he played very good. He made it very tough for LeBron in the fourth quarter for sure. For sure. Um, definitely. And like I say, 41% is not good for LeBron James. LeBron typically shoot, from what I remember. Yeah, I didn't remember. Is a clip where Brian clearly irritated why gets checked with him and all. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I watched the finals, so I seen it was times where he was frustrating LeBron at times for sure. But also, I didn't Dwayne Wade. I didn't know he shot 43% from the field at finals, and then he only averaged 15. I knew he didn't like explode, but I didn't know it was like 15 a game is what he averaged. But yeah, and Kawhi is great. The Kawhi is one of the greatest defenders I've ever watched with my own eyes. Said to be fair, Wade's first step was gone. Yeah, he was gone. Like, and that's why. And really, when you say why LeBron, that's why LeBron got up out of there. Truthfully, I think he figured he's saying that I don't. He's saying he couldn't win with it was gonna be hard to win with that version of Wade. Wade was going to downslope at that point. He was having a lot of knee issues at that point too, and he saw a greener pasture in Cleveland to play with Kyrie Irving and to play with Kyrie Irving and to play with, at the time it was the number 1 pick, which they ended up trading for Kevin Love at the time. And he saw greener pastures in Cleveland. And then it would be a perfect story for him to say he won back home. So it was an avenue was created for him to go back home. And I finally, this is how you know the NBA is something else, boy. Like, damn, the Cleveland kept getting the number 1 pick after he left. Nah, I don't think he would have stayed in Cleveland. I mean, in Miami, bro. I don't think he saw an avenue for them to keep winning like that open. So, and everybody say, I mean, they was bad. Cleveland was bad. But to keep getting the number 1 first pick after that was David Stern them giving Cleveland a treat for LeBron leaving. You could be bad, but to keep ending up with the number 1 pick though, like you could be top 2, 3. David Stern, that was David Stern. Spo has gone to the finals with players worse than Bron. Come on, Mac, are you serious? Yeah, though. Do you think that Miami Heat team would have beat Golden State though? I think they could have went to the finals for sure. I didn't see Bron get to the finals we got in 2018 with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they weren't gonna be good enough to beat no goddamn Golden State. And I think Bron saw that shit. Like, we ain't beating them, motherfucker. Not Golden State in particular. But I think he saw, I don't know if we're going to be able to beat some of these other dudes like that. You know what I'm saying? Mac Bron in Miami would bring other players there. You know that. Who he bringing, though? All that money they got tied up, who he bringing over there, though? The money was tied up in them 3. Right? Like, the Golden State wasn't a thing yet, but I'm saying I don't think he thought they could win. For real, like the money was tied up in Chris. LeBron had to take a little bit less money to keep Udonis Haslem there, to keep UD there. Who they bringing there to help in Miami? As Dwayne Wade body starting to break down, shit. Eventually, Chris Bosh would eventually get them blood clots in the lungs, but that wasn't an issue at the time. It wasn't an issue at the time. Shout out to the late great Henry Thomas. Henry Thomas got Chris Bosh paid 100-some plus M's too, boy. But yeah, I don't think they was gonna get nobody over there with them 3 when them contracts they had. So I think he saw, shit, we got young Kyrie Irving. He saw Kyrie was nice. He saw Kyrie over there, nice shifty with that ball. They had the number 1 pick. He saw an avenue to say, damn, this team, I can do something with them young boys over there. And then I can win a championship in Cleveland possibly, which will right my wrong of leaving. It will right my wrong of leaving. Hey, let me go on over there. You know, let me go on over there. So Golden State wasn't a thing yet. Of course, Chris Bosh don't get that deal if LeBron stays. I just shouted out Henry Thomas getting him that deal. I'm not saying that prevented anything. I just shouted out that I'll never forget Henry Thomas getting Chris Bosh that. Rest in peace to Henry Thomas. That was a great deal for Chris. But what I'm saying is, who they finna bring over there with Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh tied in that roster? What big time additions they finna get over there? All they can do is keep bringing in 3-and-D guys, shooters. That's it. You can keep bringing in Shane Battier, Mike Miller, who looked like he about to fall over at the time. Mike was shooting shit up still, but yeah. Of course, Chris Bosh don't get that deal. Black Mall, listen, I understand Chris Bosh is not getting that deal. Of course he not. There's no way Chris Bosh getting paid that money if Bron is there at all. At all, right? However, who are they if with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade on the roster? You said LeBron was going to bring other guys there. And I'm asking, who is they going to bring over there to help with the money tied up in those three players so they can go and get AD? Dwayne got carried because how was they going to get AD though? What was they going to do to get AD? One of them big three got to go. So Chris Bosh, you saying? They could have forced a trade, don't play dumb. But I'm saying, who they giving up though? I'm not saying don't play. I'm not playing. I'm saying force a trade for who though? For who? Who you trading for AD? Who you trading? Chris Bosh? I don't know if they moving. Hold on, nah. They not moving for nobody else but Chris at that point. I do brag about that, but Black Mall, who they getting over? Who they trading for AD? Who they trading for AD? That's what I'm asking. Who they trading for AD to come over there? One of them big three got to go. If I'm them, I'm not giving up Chris Bosh for no goddamn Anthony Davis. I mean, I'm not giving Anthony Davis up for Chris Bosh. And I like Chris a lot. Chris in Toronto, yeah. But at that point, who they would have gave up though? It's Black Miles, I'm saying, who they would have traded for him. Anthony Davis though? For Chris, head up, who you trading? If AD says trade me in Miami like he did in Orlando, they have to trade him, Mac. Trade him, I mean, for who though? You think it's possible to have all four of them on one roster? Is what I'm asking. Who, I'm saying who goes out of the big three? You saying all three of them say? And then AD? Or you saying Chris Bosh is gone? Bron and AD would be the big two. They not trading Dwayne Wade from Miami, brother. And him and when he let D Wade go, them and people in Miami got mad at that when he let D Wade go. He did let D Wade walk for that time, and Wade came right back after that year. Yeah. He let D Wade walk for that 1 year. You know what I'm saying? You saying trade Dwayne Wade from Miami at that point? I don't know. Oh man. Now eventually he pulled the trigger on that. He let D Wade walk, but yeah, trade him or let him walk. Either way, y'all don't know how that would go over with Miami fans. I don't know. And from what I remember, I think Miami was upset that they let Wade walk that first time. So I don't know. And shit, at that point, Miami fans would go crazy to get AD at that point, and you know it. Yeah, they would love to have AD, but you know that's like trading Kobe Bryant away from the Lakers, brother. Uh, Kobe much more cemented in LA, but you know that's Wade County though. You know what I'm saying? So like with LA, with like, that's like trading Kobe for AD. And now, granted, Lakers fans are much more, you know, whatever. At that point, Dwayne Wade had never played anywhere else but Miami, though, Black Mall, at that point, though, brother. He had never played anywhere else but Miami at that point. And he that was after that, though. I'm saying at that point, Wade was only a Miami Heat player at that point. Only that. At that point of when you saying trade him, he only been with Miami at that point in his career. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason he went to Chicago because Pat didn't want to give him the rest of that paper that he was asking for. You see what I'm saying? It was comparable at that point, though, Black Mall. It was comparable at that point. At that point, you're saying to trigger the trade before LeBron left. It was comparable. Wade helped to bring 3 championships there. He won a championship his 3rd year. He had only been a Miami Heat player. At that point, it was comparable. At that point, until LeBron left. So it's comparable at that point. Now, because you said for LeBron to stay in Miami. At that point, Wade had only been in Miami the whole time. He hadn't gone anywhere else. So at that point, it's comparable. At that point, now after LeBron leave and go to Cleveland, and then Wade spend what the next 2 years in Miami, then go to Chicago. That's different. But yeah, it was comparable at that time. You were saying to trigger that trade, but and shit at that point was on a decline. He was on a decline for sure. But like fans still love players when they on the decline, brother. Lakers fans love Kobe, and Bean was a shell of himself at the end of his career. And if you would have traded Kobe Bryant at that point, they would have hated you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, and look though, you said Braun could. You said, and that's why New Orleans wouldn't accept that trade. Yeah, that would be absolutely dumb for them to accept that trade. Yes, that's correct. If New Orleans would have said that's okay, let's do that trade, they would be stupid to do that. So now, granted, teams have done stupider stuff. I just saw Paul George get traded head up. I just saw Paul George get traded head up for Jaylen Brown. So teams have done stupid things, right? But yeah, you feel me? So yeah. So but every organization does not do stupid things though. Every organization does not move like that. And also for all Braun know, Braun leverage ain't that strong in Miami, right? Because he wanted to get Eric Spoelstra up out of there and wanted Pat Riley to coach them, right? Pat Riley told Braun, no, he the coach, and that's who the coach is going to be regardless. So for Braun, he figured, shit, my cachet ain't strong in this motherfucker, because it wasn't. His cachet strong in other places, but you say if AD asks, if AD and I okay, if AD can present, I want to go to Miami. Okay, then that's different. But if it's coming from LeBron James, LeBron figure Pat gonna be like, hell no, you don't run this, because he told him, hey no, because Bron wanted Pat to come coach, and he told his ass no. Eric Spoelstra, Eric Spoelstra, y'all coach. I'm not coaching. That's y'all coach. So Bron probably figured, shit, I ain't got no influence over here anyway. So, and Cleveland, oh, he got all the influence in Cleveland. If AD would have said, I'm not signing an extension nowhere but Miami like he did. Hey, at that point, was Anthony Davis with Clutch Sports, though? Let me see something. Was Anthony Davis with Clutch Sports at that time? When did Anthony Davis sign to Clutch? When did he sign them? He signed in 2018 to Clutch Sports. Shit. AD wasn't signed to Clutch until 2018. Right? So, like, hell no. Hey, his agent probably be like, "But what the fuck?" You know, so he wasn't with Clutch in 2018. And that's when I think that was his big. That's when Bron's influence over Anthony Davis was at his peak when he was with Clutch, right? When he became a Clutch guy, that's when LeBron's influence on Anthony was heavy. And I don't think LeBron is staying in Miami until 2018. I don't think he's staying there in 2018. I don't think that. Boy, woo, yeah, I don't think he's staying there in 2018. I think he's probably been like, damn, I could have been in Cleveland. But that's how I know the NBA the NBA is something else. Because Cleveland was terrible at the time. Boogie Cousins could have gotten traded. Yeah, Boogie, that would have been a good trade. King McDonough, that would have been a good trade. Boogie, no. Yeah, but I just think LeBron felt like it was easier for him to just sign over there to Cleveland. He can sign over there with Kyrie already there. Instead of having to like make trades go through, he can just go somewhere where they already got the number one pick and they got Kyrie Irving, a young budding superstar type player. It would be easier for him to just go and sign over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just go over here. And again, it just looked better for him to win the championship. Like, it was an opportunity of a lifetime for LeBron. Like, it was a magic opportunity for him to say, I'm going back home. He can win at home and finally win one in Cleveland that will redeem him from the decision. It was a chance for him to redeem himself from the decision. But the only reason he really went back over there, he wouldn't have went over there if he didn't feel like they could win. If he was gonna feel like they were gonna be still lose, he wasn't gonna do that shit. He went over there because he saw, oh shit, they got the number one pick and they got Kyrie. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and trade that number one pick away and try to make something happen. If he got the red carpet treatment, let's be real. You really think he had the same treatment from Pat and South Beach that he did? He goes back. Probably not. I don't. Yeah, probably not. Maybe not. Say nobody leaves South Beach for Cleveland unless it's personal. Yeah, I think it was personal on both fronts too, though. I think he felt it from them fans when he left, and he felt like, him and Pat, he knew I do feel like Bron goes out of his way to say he ain't from Cleveland, yeah. But I do hear that it's a little Cleveland and Akron thing too. Like, that's like a thing. I went to college with a girl from Cleveland. Cleveland folks do not be like his ass from people from Akron. You know what I'm saying? So miss me with that. I mean, but he's from Northeast Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Where his people can come watch him play, the little St. Vincent St. Mary people. But it is a thing with people from Cleveland and Akron. Because my homegirl say, yeah, motherfucker from Akron. I ain't from Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I do think that like it was a combination of stuff too. Him and Pat, he knew he couldn't do certain shit with Pat. You know what I'm saying? He felt like Pat, it was certain shit he could bump heads with Pat. You from Peoria, you from Chicago. Yeah, absolutely. I'm from Chicago, not Peoria at all. at all, right? But if I'm playing in an organization that's close to the crib, and it's like that's who they cheer for, right? Exactly. That's who. If Chicago people would root for a team if it's all we got in Illinois, we'll root for that team though. If we got a Chicago team, we root for the Chicago team. But if we ain't got a team in Chicago, we gonna root for whoever. So I think he knew that was a team where people from Akron. I mean, that's who they got to watch. And it's close enough for him for certain people in his family and stuff to come watch him play and shit. And same business, same married teammates could pop in. So yeah, I do think it's because he loves. I mean, it's pride, but also that's the team. If you from Akron, that's who you watch. Cleveland, the Cavs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You said, brother Maul, them Akron people cheer for the Cavs though. They do though. So, so Brian, he ain't from Cleveland. He from Akron. Rich Paul from Cleveland though. He from Cleveland. So he probably tell you I ain't from Akron. I'm from Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? But that's who they root for. But it's a mixture of things. I think Pat telling him not letting him do certain shit, and then he's also found it was very opportunistic type of thing. Like, okay, Pat, you facing resistance from Pat. Dwayne Wade body breaking down. Look at your team that you used to be on. They got Kyrie Irving over there. They got the number one pick. It's easy. You saying LeBron don't want to live in Cleveland? What you saying? That's your point. You don't want to live there. You want to live in South Beach. His ass might have been getting in trouble in Cleveland too. I mean, in Miami too. Savannah probably said, "Let's take our ass home." Yeah, let's take our ass home. You out here wilding in Miami. Yeah, we definitely let them know they ain't from Chicago all day, but they root for them though. They root for the Bulls. And I like LeBron don't never look at Cleveland as his home. He look at Akron, but at the same time, that's the team that they grew up watching. That's their local team. You know what I'm saying? So like a part of it still knew he knew that's Northeast Ohio, and it was people from Akron wanting to see him win with the Cavs. It was people from Akron that was wanting to see the Cavs win the championship too. So it was very opportunistic. I think it was both things. Pat wasn't gonna let him do what he wanted to do. Dwayne Wade body failing him. Look, Kyrie gonna just go sign over there, right? Like that's the easier thing to do. You know what I'm saying? See, I think he's living in New York for his Philly stint, like Wilt did. They think he living in New York too. Wilt the stilt, man. I get that, but being LeBron rich in Miami with red carpet treatment from Pat, when we know how much he loves attention, it's hard for me to subscribe that he left due to basketball reasons. I don't know, bro. I think too, man. Uh, he said, speaking of Kawhi, though, yeah, that shit crazy, bro. So what are they trying? What they got going with that? But I do feel like also the pressure was mounting for him to win multiple championships too. So I don't know. Mm, I don't know. His Uncle Dennis got him in that boiling water. What Uncle Dennis made him take that bag or something? Now look, what they say Uncle Dennis, how Uncle Dennis was basically controlling the free agency. I knew Kawhi was getting money under the table for sure. But Charlie X, you saying, yeah, trying to circumvent the salary cap. Now I remember when what's my boy name? Former number one pick, Joe Smith. Joe Smith and them did that with Minnesota, I think, right? Was that Minnesota that he did that with? He getting paid under the table, right? And then they found out about it and took like a whole bunch of first round picks from them and all type of shit. I remember that, right? Yeah. So is the Clippers about to get hit with that same punishment? And you saying Uncle Dennis? Uncle Dennis was telling her, "Hey boy, go better get this paper." And I'm gonna say this. So I gotta do another live stream. When Carmelo said Kawhi fired Uncle Dennis, he about to blame him and get. Hey, you gotta do that, bro. They're like, did Shohei Ohtani fire his translator? You gotta fire the translator, G. That ain't me. That's the translator, G. That ain't me. That's him. This mother, you know. Yeah. Somebody got to be the fall guy, bro. I ain't going. He said, I ain't going down for this here. I ain't going down for that. That was dude. That wasn't me. That's him. Shit, I ain't gonna even lie, bro. I don't even be mad, G, cause like brothers got to get their paper. I swear to God, I remember when Carmelo say he wouldn't have left at 113. He said he got to be something else. Yeah, you got it. Uncle Dennis know he got to eat that. Eat the charge, bro. It ain't nothing, Uncle. You still my uncle. You still gonna be at the house kicking it. I just gotta say it's you. I gotta play the Ray Lewis. I don't hang with them street hooligans no more. You gotta play the Ray Lewis. I don't hang with them hooligans no more. I don't have them in my inner circle. I don't have them around me. I don't want no parts of them brothers. Them brothers probably still be at the house playing cards with Ray. Playing cards, playing poker, chilling. Ray got up in there, Ray Lewis. I don't hang with them brothers no more. Hooligans. You know what I'm saying? You got to do that, bro. You gotta act like you don't rock with them no more. The owner Dole let it know he ain't going to that second apron. So he ain't giving up no damn money. But they expect players to. Yeah, it's all crazy. That's why that's why I was sitting here when Carmelo said what he said about my boy Jalen Brunson. And I'm like, gee, I'm sorry, bro. I ain't leaving no 100 M's on the table, bro. I'm from around the way. I need some money for a rainy day. You know what I'm saying? Mike Vick could never say he could never put the blame on them, man. Vick was just too loyal to the soil. He could never say I ain't rocking with them. It's just something in him. He couldn't do that. He couldn't say, "Oh, them been some bad people." I ain't. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't do that. You know? He couldn't say, "Oh, them brothers terrible." They were just horrible influences for me. I did, you know. But look at it this way: Vic still got out of jail and got another 100 M's. He went to jail for a minute. He lost some years of his career, but he got another 100 M's. He said, "I would have told Arthur Blank." Arthur Blank, that ain't me. That's them, Arthur. I didn't try to help a bit of it in there. I didn't try to help people out from my neighborhood. You want to help them get further. Just want to help people from my community prosper. That's all I wanted to do. And look how they treat me. Look how they repay me. Having a dog ring running, I had no knowledge of none of this. You say you're going to play the Rick Pitino. You're going to play the Rick Pitino. Escorts coming to come serve up the young recruits. And Rick Pitino say, I didn't know a damn thing about none of this. Rick Pitino say, escorts? Huh? Prostitutes? What do you mean? We don't do that at the University of Louisville. We don't do that. But yeah, Mike got out of jail. They got another 100 M's, which was, that shit was unheard. Like, I swear to God, I was so happy for Mike. Like when Donovan from Chicago too. Oh, I was never like, hey man, something about Donovan. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was about Donovan. I ain't never gravitated to Donovan. Like I don't know. But anyway though, Donovan, they got Donovan McNabb up out of there. And Mike got that another 100 M's. My boy, what my boy from 800 name, Chicago. Boss Smooth. Boss Smooth say Mike Vick in the trap. Do time and come out and I still get 100. Say he Mike Vick in the trap, do time and come out and I still get 100. Now I say, Mike did do that. Then Mike got out of jail telling Colin Kaepernick he need to cut his hair, get his image up. Dude, cut the afro off, cut your hair, look, you better do your image. I'm like, Mike, he wasn't dog fighting like you though, Mike. You was out there, I was out there with them pit bulls. He was out there with them pit bulls fighting and killing the dogs, brother. You got that. That's a whole. He wasn't doing what you were doing. I got on Mike here. Got on Jason Whitlock's show and said that shit too. I was so mad at Mike. That's one of the first videos I ever made on YouTube. Getting on Mike big ass about that. Mike got on there talking about tell Colin Kaepernick cut his hair. I said, oh shit. Mike then went to jail and they didn't broke Mike. Mike then got in trouble. Mike say, oh man, you cut your hair, brother. Cut that dude. Don't wear that long hair. You better wear that. You better. Yeah, I say, man, they broke Mike, man. They took football away from him and he say, man, you gotta cut your hair. Got to look clean cut. Yeah, hey. There's a Falcon fan. Vic joining the Eagles wasn't sitting right with me. Should have joined the Browns. Go to Cleveland again. Go to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? You say you might have seen the look. Hey, it's Cleveland. You say pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. That's that old Bill Cosby. Stop tagging your pants. Now, stop naming your kids all these crazy names. Pull your pants up, brother. I was like, come on, man. Ooh, I remember when Shannon got on Mike Vick for that. I remember that. You right, that was peak Undisputed. I'm looking at him like Mike, I know you ain't getting here telling Colin Kaepernick to cut his hair and all that. Do an image reshift. For what? For what, Mike? And I love Mike Big Girl. Like, I was like, Mike, what you talking about? You know, but yeah, when they took football away from Mike, Mike went to jail. That's when they broke Mike, you know. Said, what was the girl doing with the pound cake? Yeah, that shit, I don't care nobody say. Y'all know I love the Cosby Show. Y'all know I love A Different World. But I told y'all, I was about 11 years old when Bill Cosby did that pound cake speech. And I felt so uncomfortable. And again, at 11 years old, I couldn't articulate why. But I was just like, huh? and revisiting that speech as an adult. I'm talking about, Bill, are you saying people should get killed for stealing a piece of cake, brother? Are you justifying police killing somebody because a brother took a piece of cake? Well, he shouldn't have been stealing. People mad because he stole a piece of pound cake and the police took it and shot him. He shouldn't have been stealing. What was he stealing the pound cake for? Bill, maybe because he was hungry. Thought about that? People take cake only because they're hungry. I don't know people that just take cake just to. I mean, some people might do that, but just taking cake though, cake. The brothers really, really want to steal. They're gonna steal something better than some cake, you know. But I just remember that I was just like, oh no, Bill. What? But you're right. I forgot Mike Vick said that on Whitlock, on Jason Whitlock's show. I was like, oh my God. Whitlock was loving every second of that. He loved every second of that right there. But yeah, y'all, man, y'all hit the like button for y'all get up out of here. I've been on way, 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 way too long. But I had a good time on here with y'all, man. I'm gonna have to let y'all on the live stream the next time I go live. Uh, we got some other stuff to discuss too. I appreciate everybody that rocked with me, everybody that gave donations, everybody that was in the chat, that helping the conversation move along. It's all love, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.